So, so I'm just going to ask like 15 questions. It shouldn't take more than an hour.
Okay.
Yeah. But for my personal project, I have to choose an area of interaction,
Uh-huh.
and because it's an IB school, and for my area of interaction, I chose community and service, and
Okay.
I chose to relate it to 9/11 just because it's had an effect on my community.
Okay.
And so I'm conducting interviews with people about in the community who I feel have a good story and can help me in with my project.
Mm-hmm.
And because this is the 10th anniversary, I'm focusing on how it's affected your life 10 years later.
Okay.
Yeah. And so just to start, I'm just going to ask you a couple questions about sort of your background story of 9/11. So can you tell me where you were and your experience on that day? And it doesn't need to be long. It can be short if you want, but
North Tower, which was I think it was Trade Center 2, and I was on the 83rd floor. Uh, it was the tower that was hit first, but fell second. Uh, and I was working in a little trading shop, Momentum Securities, which is a very small outfit, and was turning on my Bloomberg machine, and all of a sudden the world rocked.
yeah. And so after that day, did you leave New York or do you stay?
After that day, we got, uh, I got to my family who was in the neighborhood, and they were happy to see me. And we went and stayed at a close friend's, in a close friend's apartment on the Upper East Side. And it was very nice to be there. But we came back a day or two later, and I think the army, the National Guard, the army there with the Humvees and the machine guns pointed up Broadway on the block, and you had to have a pass to get through below Canal Street, which we had, and we hot-tailed it out to our summer home on Long Island for about a week or 10 days, and then came back.
Okay. And so just like moving ahead 10 years, do you think that the events of the day and after affected your life on who you are today?
Uh, I like to think not, but I'm sure it has. Uh, has it affected me? Yeah, I mean, it rocked my world for a while, and I don't know. Has it affected my life? I mean, I had to run around from business to business after that, and that was tough. So that was an unfortunate consequence. And my family was a little rattled by the whole experience, being that they were downtown. So they've been, a bit nervous in certain environments, but they're fine. And other than that, we're back and doing the best we can.
Matters. So now, sort of on to the focus of my topic. The effects of 9/11 sort of changed the world, and everyone knows that really. And I'm really interested more in the community of Tribeca and not
Uh-huh.
caring about the global effects, more
Yeah.
about how it's affected right downtown. And so, soon after the events of 9/11, do you think you had a role in your personal community, whether it be friends, family, neighbors, in service? This could be like anything from like talking to somebody that you're close with or volunteering for a project.
Did I?
Yeah.
I thought my job was basically to take care of myself. That was my basic, you know, what I gave was just my time up getting down from the World Trade Center. I mean, we spent some time in the new school that was the community was sent to, and I, you know, I was just in a bit of a daze for a month or two. So I was, not really giving much, unfortunately. I guess I could have, but I was basically just in a little self-preservation mode there for a while.
Um, do you think like during the course of the past 10 years that 9/11 has affected your feelings on the community and in serving the community?
Uh, huh. That's an interesting question. Uh, I guess I have a certain commitment to downtown. I've worked here for and lived here for, you know, 28 years. So, I mean, I would. The neighborhood's changed a lot. I mean, there was a certain commitment I had towards the way things were down here in Tribeca, and things were casual and loosely knit, and there wasn't so much pressure from the newcomers who are taking over Tribeca. And I call them, it's kind of like the power elite. So they're kind of very well off on their own without me having to do anything. And they've taken charge. So I'm a little disenfranchised from my neighborhood. This is just not the way it used to be. But
Very true.
uh, I don't know what else to say.
That's fine. Do you think your particular experience of 9/11 has changed you? Sort of like the past question I asked, but
Yeah, it's changed me because my whole work environment has been lousy, and it's just more tension in my life because of getting jostled out of there. Uh, has it changed me? I guess I'm a little bit more accepting of different things and accepting of what. Has it changed me? Yeah, I guess I'm more focused on my family and less on other things, work and things are secondary because of that experience maybe. And I just put a higher priority on the family and things other than, you know, material, the material world.
do you think that from 9/11 through today that you formed any lasting like bonds or connections with somebody from that day, Did- or from the experience of it? Did
It's funny. It was kind of like being stuck in a mousetrap with 10 mice you knew very, very well. And once we got out, we all just scattered and went to our own little, hideaways. I mean, there were people I worked with who I had a strong bond with, especially in the, getting out of the building and the day after. And then we met up in a new office in about 2 weeks after, and it was kind of nice seeing everyone made it. And one person was severely injured, but there was a little bonding there, but we never maintained any lasting correspondence. Although, I'm sure they're out there in various states of disrepair.
thinking about your community, and by that I sort of mean like your friends and your neighbors.
Yeah.
What change do you see in like if any in those around you? You see,
What, from 9/11?
yeah.
You know, not much. I mean, people are very, very kind and supportive and generous with their, with everything they had immediately after. The community was, and the various agencies were very supportive. Friends were very nice, and it was very, pleasant to have such support. Uh, that's about.
In your opinion, would you say that you feel or experience from your community positive effects from your story of 9/11? 10 years later, or negative effects?
Give that to me again.
Sorry, Ward, this is a bit strange. So from your story of 9/11, from what happened to you, do you feel like you get a positive response from your community, or sort of negative?
Everyone's pretty positive. Well, I don't really, you know, promote the day very much. I don't really talk
Mm.
about it very much. So it doesn't come to into focus. It's not part of my everyday discourse. So you know, when people sometimes people, get wind of my story and they'll be kind of like, wow, that's wild. They're kind of fascinated with the story, and that's about it.
And just last question: is there anything else that you'd like to add to talk about community or?
Oh gosh, I didn't really do enough, did I? A community. I gotta think about this, Sash. Uh, the community has rebounded. I mean, I've always thought that I was waiting for the towers to clear the skyline. To me, that was a significant move. Once they pierced through the top of the other buildings, and it's taken 10 years. So it's just kind of like it's been such a long process that it's like enough already. It's I mean, I'm sure it has much more impact for somebody who was lost a loved one. Uh, I mean, I would love to see the community thrive, and I'm sure it will. I think once the trade center is put up and that whole thing's developed, this will become a very vibrant community, and it's going to be a really cool place to live. Uh, there's a lot of great people, even though I put everyone down. There still are a lot of great people here, and it's everyone kind of hung tough. A few people deserted ship, but they did what they had to do, and I'm sure that maybe that was the right move, just to chill out and take it easy and not be in such a stressful environment, which the city